Hi Facebook, and welcome to this free PTE class. My name is Chris, I'm from English Key, and today I'm going to give you a free class which is on the repeat sentence and write from dictation parts of the PTE exam. Now before we start, I'd just like to just say, if you know anybody that's taking the PTE exam, make sure that you tag them in this video so that they can see this lesson. And if you're not already a fan of this page, please like this page because we'll do some more free classes. So today's free class is going to be repeat sentence, which is part of the speaking exam, and write from dictation, which is part of the listening exam. So in both of these cases, you have marks that are taken from different sections of the exam. So repeat sentence will be listening and speaking, and write from dictation will be listening and writing. You have to be prepared for these parts of the exam because they relate to your memory. If you have a rubbish memory, maybe you're a little bit older, this is going to be a difficult part of the exam for you. So you have to make sure that you practice. Some people say eat fish. I'm not sure whether that's going to help you in the short term, but really you have to do some practice. So what we're going to do today is listen to some examples, talk about how we can maybe use some strategies, and then think about how you do it in your exam. Okay? So let's first think about the type of questions. In both of these questions, in repeat sentence and in write from dictation, you'll get a sentence of maybe 10 words, all right? And you have to repeat the sentence, or you have to write the sentence, okay? And it will be made clear in the exam which part you're going to be doing, all right? Simply, you have to remember the first part and the last part. If you forget any words, you have to make up something, because silence will get you no points. You're going to score nothing if you remain silent, all right? That's really important. My second tip is that for the write from dictation, I would maybe use your board, okay? And I'll explain about that in a second. With repeat sentence, there is no point using the board because you have no time. But from write from dictation, it's a really good idea if you maybe use your board. And I'll show you the strategy in a second. Let's do some practice and see how you do, and see if you can repeat or write. Let's first start with repeat sentence. So I'm going to play a clip for you, and I just want you to repeat what you hear. Are you ready?
Of course, you can also choose to have your grades emailed to you.
What did you hear there? Which words did you hear? I heard the word of course. I heard from memory the word grades, maybe the word emailed, okay? So what did you hear and how did you repeat it, okay? I think I remember. Of course, you can also have your grades emailed to you. Of course, you can also have your grades emailed to you. So one thing about the repeat sentence is that you really have to focus on pronunciation, making sure that words are really clear. In the exam, I always say to my students, if you can have a picture of me sitting on your shoulder, trying to focus on your lips. Lips are really important. Make sure that you really overpronounce words, all right? Okay, let's go with another one and we'll do repeat sentence. So listen and say it.
Does the professor keep regular office hours?
Which words did you remember? I remember the word professor, office hours. The sentence was, does the professor keep regular office hours? Does the professor keep regular office hours? Another tip for you is to try to change your intonation and your pitch. Make sure you go up and down. Does the professor keep regular office hours? Can you hear the difference? Rather than staying at a robotic, monotonous tone, does the professor keep regular office hours? Okay, try to change your pitch a little bit. Let's try another one.
I'll check again, but I'm pretty sure we're supposed to read chapter 2.
What do you remember? I remember, I'll check again, but I'm pretty sure we're supposed to read chapter 2. I'll check again, but I'm pretty sure we're supposed to read chapter 2. Okay? So that's for repeat sentence. It is simply a memory test. So for those people that are taking the Pearson test of English, sometimes these questions are not testing your English. They're actually testing your memory. So really you have to focus on practicing for that, okay? And I also have a theory and a hunch to say that repeat sentence and read aloud, which are the first two parts of the speaking exam, they have a correct or an incorrect answer. Describe image and retell lecture and answer short questions, they're all a bit more subjective. You can say really what you want to say, whereas repeat sentence and read aloud, they are fixed. So the computer is listening for a fixed mark. Therefore, you really have to be careful, all right? The second type of question we're going to do today is listening and write from dictation. And in the first part of this video, I explained that you can maybe use your board. So let's explain what I mean. So you have your clear board here. I recommend maybe writing the first letter of each word that you hear quite quickly. And that will hopefully jog your memory when you come to write something, okay? So I'll give you an example. The dog sat on the mat. And there would be our words, which is the dog sat on the mat. The dog sat on the mat. That's a really useful tip if you can't remember all the words. And that's something that some students find useful, some students don't. Personally, I find it really useful because you know how many words are in the sentence and you can kind of guess and gauge which words are there. All right, so that's something that you maybe want to consider. So let's do some practice with write from dictation. So you'll need a pen or use your keyboard to write. Here goes.
I think the university's main campus is close.
So I heard there were 8 words in that sentence, okay? And let's try to think of any words that you remember. These were the words that I got. So did you remember any of those? Okay. I think the university's main campus is close. I think the university's main campus is close. That's the full sentence. Try to focus on spelling for each one. So the word close here would be C-L-O-S-E and not closed. Yeah. And so the PTE exam is trying to test you for those type of things. So I think the university's main campus is close. Let's try another one.
If your parents come to visit you this semester, where will they stay?
So this one is quite a long sentence. This one is 13 words. Do you remember any of the words? Here are the words that I remember. Can you try to put in any of the words and see if you can, if this jogs your memory? The sentence was, if your parents come to visit you this semester, where will they stay? And it should be a question mark at the end. If your parents come to visit you this semester, where will they stay? If your parents come to visit you this semester, where will they stay? Let's try another one.
When I was in school, I had many of the same problems you do now.
So another long one. This one is 15 words, okay, maybe 16. And there's one word which I didn't quite hear, and that's okay. In the exam, it's really not a problem if you don't get all the words. I know students who scored 90 in the exam. They didn't complete all of the repeat sentence or all of the write from dictation because they struggled and they came and they said, oh, it was a disaster, but they still scored 90. So it is possible. I remember when I was in school, I had many of the same problems that you do now. And the question for me, I can't remember if it was that or as, I don't remember, but it's not a problem. So when I was in school, I had many of the same problems than you do now, or that you do now, sorry. Okay, so try to remember, it's not the end of the world if you don't remember all of the words. Remember, in the exam, this here is just a tip for you. In the exam, you have to write the whole sentence with correct spelling. So you're going to get spelling marks for this part of the exam. Really try to remember that you have to write every word with punctuation. So in the previous sentence, there was a question mark. Let's do one more together.
I thought the midterm exam was only worth half our course grade.
So I've written the whole sentence this time, and the sentence was something like this. I thought the midterm exam was worth only half our course grade. In the exam, it's probably likely that they will be expecting a hyphenation of the word midterm here, midterm with a hyphen, but it's probably not going to lose you any marks. Officially, midterm would be with a hyphen. It's not a problem if you don't do it, okay? So this is right from dictation. Make sure that you have start a sentence with a capital letter and finish with a full stop, okay? Let's try the final one.
Many of the most popular courses are available online.
This one we'll do as a repeat sentence. Many of the most popular courses are available online. Change our pitch and our intonation, focus on our lips. Yep, so really make sure we overpronounce words. Try to use your lips as much as possible during those 35 minutes when you're in the speaking section. Okay, so that's a little class for you on write from dictation and repeat sentence. I hope you found it useful. If you did, make sure that you tag a friend who maybe is taking the exam, or come back and make sure that you subscribe, and I'll give you some more free lessons in the future. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments box. I'm happy to answer them. I'll stay around for a short while. Please ask any questions and I can answer them. Have a nice afternoon. Take care.